Hey, what's up, YouTube? Oh, I'm giving you time to do the like, subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified thing. Drop a comment below if you disagree or agree with anything that's said in the video today, and let's just jump into it. Is it time to get over slavery? I can't believe that. Yo, I hate these. I hate when they get to this point where it's like they'll start asking asinine questions and you're just like, yeah, no, dude, no, absolutely. Like, so I wonder what we're gonna hear today.
I'm Michael. I'm Evan. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Middle Ground. After the episode, please stick around for a word from our sponsor, Skillshare. Learn how to get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free, and hear about one of the courses that is keeping me sane during my time in self-isolation. I'm glad it's keeping me sane. It is. I like it. All right. Oh, that was awkward. Enjoy the episode.
Obama was a representation of something important.
Obama didn't do anything but an abomination.
Whoa, what? Hold up, whoa, wait, hold on, what? Wait, no, wait, bring it back. I need lights. I need all my lights on. All the lights. Alexa, turn studio light 1 off.
Okay.
Bring me my lights. My lights. I need my lights for this one. Hold up. What? Rewind that tape 3 seconds.
Oh, that was awkward. Enjoy the episode.
Obama was a representation of something important.
Obama didn't do anything but an abomination to us.
Does she have a Trump hat on? Why are you making your Trump hat fit with the outfit? I feel like you're not doing the right thing, sis. Oh no.
What's the biggest misconception Black liberals have about you?
That we are self-hating, we hate our mom, we hate our dad, we don't know history.
We're out of touch, is that we don't have any real world experiences.
We don't really know what we're doing.
What is a misconception Black conservative people have about you?
Probably that I have no moral character.
I believe
I've already done a long piece on Black conservatives. I really have. It just feels like when I say that being a Black conservative is a contradiction within itself, it's because you capping for a party that literally don't give a shit about you. And I can't stress that enough. It is consistently like the policies are bad. And you talk about making the best world you can possibly make out of whatever bad policy decisions they have. And that's just not at all how it works. That's just not at all.
In chaos and anarchy. No, I believe in the rule of law. I literally cannot comprehend the notion of anyone being American and Black and having conservative views.
Because what are you conserving exactly? Like what do you wish to preserve out of what do you wish to preserve out of anything in conservative history? We literally just got the civil rights movement 60 years ago, now 70, I guess. Okay, fine. Like what you want? What you want? Wait, 1965, 40 to 2005, that's 60.
You're online behind the screen, behind the black mirror, you can say pretty much whatever you want, do whatever you want. When you're right here, you gotta be a little bit more human.
I see it's gonna be liberals, not like formal leftists.
My name is Kevin Martin. I'm a business consultant. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, born into and
Man's
raised
also
in
spinning.
a conservative household, and I'm still a conservative.
My name is Xavier. I'm born and raised Los Angeles. I'm liberal.
Hi, I'm Elisa. I'm definitely as far left as one can walk.
I'm Anthony Logan. I'm from Virginia originally. Grew up in a socially conservative household, but very politically liberal. I'm conservative now, and I'm looking forward to hearing all you guys' point of view.
My name is Lady Kate Barelle. I am a conservative Republican.
All right, can I get my Black liberals on the left and my Black conservatives on the right?
Say that again.
Liberals on the left, conservatives to the right.
Okay.
If you agree with the prompt, you'll walk forward. If not, you'll stay back. People need to get over slavery.
All right, so I guess I started off. I mean, we all know that slavery was a terrible thing.
Yes.
It was an atrocity.
Right.
It was a human tragedy. But
Yes.
we can't just be talking about slavery every day.
Now, this is what I was talking about. This specific moment, that specific sentence. We can't just be talking about it every day. It's not like any white people owned slaves. It was... Okay, quick history lesson. This should be easy enough for anybody to swallow for whatever side you come on. History lesson. If you build a nation in which that is a part of its economic and social and political drive, wouldn't you think that there would be some, like, just like COVID-19 just like COVID-19 fake vaccination cards. Can't talk today. Don't you think that, like, society would create systems or jobs or places to be based in and around that? No Negroes allowed, whites only. Just because slavery ended doesn't mean that the places that were open during then all of a sudden were like, yeah, I think the government, did a bad thing there. I think we should just treat black people out equally. Banking. Let alone, women couldn't get loans till like literally a couple 20 decades ago. Like, come on.
It ended in 1865. This is 2020. We got to press forward.
We got to press forward. Slavery ended in 1865. Can you, what about the time after that? I hate... Somebody in my YouTube comments was like, well, we just gotta, I wish things were going back the way they were, before this country was founded, it was the greatest thing ever. And I asked him, like, what did we do the year before that? And he was like, I don't know, eat out of toilets or whatever. And I'm like, awesome, bro.
Ancestors, they went through a lot. They died for us to be able to be here right now.
Yes.
And the best country on planet Earth.
Yes.
The best country on planet Earth. That's not even true. That's not even true by our standards.
Take advantage of what we have right now, rather than looking in the past and saying, oh, well, woe was me because of slavery.
Right.
Okay. If your great-grandfather was a slave, and your grandfather was a slave, and for the sake of the argument, your father was a slave, what do those people hold as commodified value in this society that they could pass down to you? What generational wealth do they own to match the society of the other people living in the same country? Can you pass down? What do you have? So you have to admit you are at least starting on you're starting on square -1. At least that. For you to continuously say slavery was in the past, slavery is in the past, why do we care about it? It's because we built up institutions, and and this is how I know, like, you can't have this conversation with, like, non-broke people. You ain't been ever sitting in that HRA office for hours waiting for somebody to get your papers, and then the machine spits out a mistake and mails it to you 2 weeks later, and you're like, well, I didn't know about this. And they say they don't care. You don't, it's made bad on purpose.
There have been other groups of people in slavery all throughout the world. They can't just stay in that state. So people, a lot of times, they stay right in that place, and others are being able to pass them because mentally they've moved on while others have not.
That has nothing to do with it mentally, because literally, I mentally figured out that I'm equal in this society. All right. Just like I did at that wedding, and then had that woman call me the N-word, like, oh, but I thought I was moving up. Well, it's just a word. You shouldn't let it bother you. Then why should you say it like that? Got to be something to it, right?
They constantly use slavery to put them in a victim mentality. We can't accomplish this because you enslaved my ancestors. Slaves were taught English. Slaves were taught how to become managers and secretaries and cooks and chauffeurs and how to build water tanks and all sorts of things. We're here now.
Yo, okay. All right. I really think, honestly, colonialism didn't teach us anything because we came from a society that was living and running. So I don't think we need to get over slavery. I think we need to talk about the repercussions of it.
And again, I know how easy it is for me to say the black liberals got it right, the black conservatives got it wrong, but I can enhance that point even further. Reconstruction was a failed project, and no one talks about that. Reconstruction ran dead smack center into Jim Crow. We said we were going to rebuild the nation as a whole, as one part, everybody equal. And literally half the country was like, nah.
Generational trauma, like the system that exists because of it. I don't think we should use it as a crutch
There you go.
as for ambivalence, or to hold yourself back, you know what I mean? I think it is a mindset as well.
I think one of the most dangerous aspects of generational advancement is misinformation. I think a lot of young people, especially young men, especially young African American men and women, often have questions about why things are the way they are. Why do I get treated this way? Why has my mother gone through this? Or why has my grandmother gone through this? Well, it all comes down to the repercussions of slavery. And so I think that just getting over something, I think is just absolutely ridiculous. And so when I hear people say that, especially my fellow African American
He wanted to say, especially my niggas, he wanted to say it so bad.
people and friends, I think it's ridiculous. Just getting over something as serious as that, I think just plays into the whole idea of it just didn't matter anyway.
So how long do we continue to harp on it? How long do we continue? Forever?
Well,
Do we never get over?
Do you mean educate? Educate us.
Education is fine. That's to know history is one thing. To not get over a thing
To
is
use it
something
as a
else.
crutch.
You can't minimize
You can't get
slavery.
credit.
Who says that though?
But I listened to both of you, and I even thought maybe I'll stay out of this one.
No.
But the notion of ending the discussions on slavery, they haven't begun. We just got the lynching memorial in Alabama. We just got the African American Smithsonian in DC. You cannot go to Germany and walk more than a mile without seeing some sort of tribute to the Holocaust, some sort of apology, some sort of marker. The United States does not acknowledge slavery in that way. We are beginning to discuss, but we can't get over it until white folks acknowledge it.
And yes, it has to be white people. I'm very sorry, it has to be white people.
Being black should not influence a political view.
So,
Of course not.
yeah, being black should not really influence how you think politically, because what's good for us as black folks should be the same as everybody else. It should be from the point of view of me being an American and wanting the best for me in America.
I will vote for the best person that
Whoa,
is running.
my bad.
And so far it's been, in my situation, it's been Republicans, conservative Republicans.
I vote based on the issues that I care about, and the issues that I care about stem from my personal experiences. As someone that was raised in a conservative household, I have different views on certain things. I have different views on pro-life and pro-choice issues. I have different views on economic issues. I have different views on trade and foreign policy. I don't think that skin color should have anything to do with a political view.
Okay, here's my counteract to that. Your skin color shouldn't influence your political view because you can see things for what they are. However, most political views are based on skin color, based on generational wealth issues, based on income inequality, based on living conditions, based on surroundings, based on cities, based on, like, if you boil it down, we still haven't removed or even begun to eschew the proper framework to have an equalized view on how I see foreign affairs, how I see economic issues, how I see social issues. Like those things are still codified by racist ideologies. Not all, not even half. I give you 35%, but that's still a lot.
I would say I definitely don't vote for candidates just because they're black. Ben Carson could never get my vote. However, I do feel very much a part of a group. I feel like I have a shared history with black people and descendants of slaves in this country. And so I do not vote just based on what's okay for me.
Because it's easy for me to say, yeah, I don't want an insurance premium or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I want personal choice for my insurance. And then you vote for a person who's like, we're stripping away the ACA and millions of people are without health insurance. Now what?
I think people should vote for what's in the best interest of them. And I don't think that skin color should dictate on what your interest should be based on skin color.
Did you ever vote your religious belief
Yes.
on abortion?
Have I ever voted my religious beliefs on abortion?
Yes.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Who is this woman? Who invited her to the party? Who fucking invited Moon to the party?
Yeah, I have.
And what's your religious belief on abortion?
We're not even talking about abortion. It's nothing to do with this
No, but
conversation.
it's black.
We have nothing to do with this conversation.
The majority of abortions are done to the black race.
But why does it keep cutting out?
You should be interested in answering that question.
Really quick, I want to ask you, because you said you wanted to leave slavery behind. You wanted to get over it. But
I didn't say forget it. Yeah.
You said to get over it. I'm saying
Get over it.
Get over it, which means to forget it. Which means to forget it. Like, who is this woman?
Let's not forget it.
You're a Christian?
I still say teach it.
You're a Christian?
Yes, I am.
And where do you think we got that?
Got what?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. This is why I can't have religious debates with people, because I'm always going to say, like, we really all follow the God of the white man. Like, we really all do, though.
Christianity.
Christianity goes all the way back to the beginning of time.
So where did we learn it, though?
Where did we learn it? Well, the Egyptians had religions, the Jewish taught
No,
religion.
where did we?
Stop dodging. This is the point where, like, if I'm in a debate with somebody, I will hone in right there. Because, like, you're not answering my question. If you don't know the answer to that question, just say, I don't know the answer. It is easy for me to end up at a point where I've asked you 6 questions and you don't know the answer to any of them. That's fine. That just tells me we're not going to have an in-depth conversation on what this is actually entailing. Which, again, and I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of religious people that end up watching, like, what I do or whatever. Like, I'm not a heavily religious person. But, like, you cannot, like, deny that Black Americans that follow Christianity in this country are literally following the teachings of the slave owners. Like, that's just how it happened. That's where the Negro spiritual came from. Like, come on.
Where
You mean
did
in
the African
America?
diaspora?
In America.
Your lineage, yeah.
America was founded as a Christian nation just by oh my God, just literally read the fucking Federalist paper.
Slavery, right?
They learned it from slavery.
Slavery, right.
Slaves also brought
We gotta get
religion
over
with
it,
them when they came, so it was a mixture of
Slaves brought religion. Slaves brought religion. That's a hot take.
everybody.
You know why that's a hot take? And I can hear it already. Like, what are you talking about, bro? How's that a hot take? If slaves brought religion, when were they given the time to teach it?
Everybody's religion,
just
but
on the
they
Bible.
learned how to read. So what they learned how to read was the Holy Bible.
And who fucking...
And either you're going to believe the Holy
We knew
Bible
how
or
to
you're
read.
not.
We knew how to read.
I believe.
Right. We was kings and queens before that. Then all of a sudden we didn't know how to read, write, add us some track. We were kings before that. They knew, like, I already played that chess bar for you. Like, come
They
on.
would read what? Arabic, what? Because it wasn't English. That's my saying. I'm in America now. Everybody should speak English.
Hold up, that face is perfect. That face is perfect. That was my face. Hold up. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the most spoken language in America is not English anymore.
Whoa.
Everybody gave it that look.
Is that a hot take? Damn, we gotta speak English in America?
I
Thank
support
God
the
somebody
Black
said that
Lives
shit.
Matter movement.
Well, I am a public defender for 17 years. I work in the criminal justice system. I see a lot of the behind the scenes when it comes to police brutality. So I'm a strong Black Lives Matter supporter.
I grew up in Compton. My parents were born and raised there. Even as a child, when they had the riots for Rodney King, we had to move to Hampton. Yeah, it was something that, it was the first time I knew that it was wrong, the way the police, how they police the towns. It was the first time I got a sense of injustice.
I'm just interested, since you identify as conservative, I was surprised to see you come over and how that lines up with your political views, or maybe just what your definition of conservative is.
This is the, oh my God. Okay. So now we can have so a lot of people have said, like many people are saying, I've seen comments on my YouTube videos where it's like, you're a diehard leftist, you could never agree with conservatives, you just argue with everything they say. You're about to see, or hopefully, I'm hoping that you're about to see what I mean when I say ideologies can be changed. If you are conservative and you support the Black Lives Matter movement, then odds are you're not an ultra nationalistic conservative, which begs the question of, like, why you choose conservatism at all when a progressive movement for rights is being championed by the progressive side. But this is at the point where I could say, okay, now let me hear what you got to say, because you're not following that same mold. You're not backing the conservatives on every single thing. And I've said this before in a video. I said that I just uploaded one a couple days ago, said if you voted for Trump in 2016, I don't blame you. I talked about it during the presidential election of 2020, in which I was like, I can understand people voting for Trump. Like, that's not my issue. Being a conservative is not the issue. It's these ultra nationalistic conservatives that are driving these strange ass narratives about everything and everyone being the woke left and this and that crazy shit. We tone that down, rein it down, and we start just, Republicans are fiscally conservative, like socially blah, 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 but we not racist. And like, once you, like, you got to get that out of the system first. Then we can have a discussion on right versus left. I hope.
Since the movement started, I've been torn for far too long. We've had the police on the right, and we've had Black Lives, the African American community and the Black community on the left, and it's just constant fighting. And so I support the movement. I support the agenda. I support the mission. I just have not always supported the way that mission agenda was being carried out.
I guess, I would love to hear more. I would love to hear more. Like, do you mean it's not organized enough? Like, there could be reasons beyond what I would think in my head, and maybe that's what he's talking about.
I agree with the fact that Black lives do matter.
I don't know if y'all heard that. I hope
That's
so.
something that nobody's going to deny. But it's the tactics. I
Yes.
don't like the tactics. I mean, I saw it in 2015, the Freddie Gray situation.
Freddie Gray's situation was not a Black Lives Matter movement that was organized. I can agree with you on that. We could talk about the Baltimore riots. We could talk about how scattered it is and what type of message you're sending, blah, blah, blah. But the fact is that you got up and organized, and that's more important to me than anything else that we're going to discuss today.
Also, with Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, you burning neighborhoods down, you're
Right.
tearing things apart.
I have people who will say, well, the percentage of blacks that are being killed is high. And I said, where'd you get that from? Well, we see it on TV all the time. But the ones who are not shown on television is in a much higher bracket of being shot quicker than a black man would. And that's shown with the FBI statistics.
Black Lives Matter as an organization is about peaceful protest and is about bringing awareness. There's no Black Lives Matter organizer who's ever looted a CVS. There's no
There we go.
Black Lives Matter organizer who has ever advocated for violence. So in terms of saying, look, I see somebody black on the TV who is upset about the murder of a young black male, that's not the same as saying Black Lives Matter is therefore responsible. Likewise, I'm not sure which FBI statistics, but African American men are definitely the most killed by police. It's a very specific statistic. Police aren't killing white folks like that.
We can't just leave it there and say, well, we're being killed more, therefore it's a problem with race. Why are we being killed more by the police? Is there a
Because
specific...
we're over-policed.
What does
There's
that...
more police in our communities.
What does that mean?
Okay, fair, fine. Time for another definition. Over-policing. In other words, have you ever in your life noticed that when you need a cab, you can't find one, but when you don't need a cab, you see them all over the place? Think about that in reverse. When I don't need police, they're everywhere. When it's time for me to actually have a use for the police, they're nowhere. They don't care. They don't give a shit. More police in my neighborhood means that for the sake of odds alone, I am going to run into an officer more times than I should. And therefore, if it's up to any random officer, and I already have 2 stories on this that you can go look at on the YouTube. If at any one point in time, they're going to like shoot me, which almost happened every time I've run into police officers, the odds of me getting shot by police officers is extremely high because there's more police officers to do the thing. I hate that. How do you not understand over-policing? They're not keeping the neighborhood safe. They're being aggressively controlling over a neighborhood. It's like if the local okay, put it to you this way, since y'all like metaphors so much. The saviors. They pop up once every 2 weeks for collecting payment. Other than that, they don't bother us. Imagine if the saviors were there every day. Negan would have been more people, right? I think that's easy enough to understand.
It means that the ratio, the number of police at any given time where I live, I am going to see police officers every hour. I'm going to see patrol vehicles in a way that I don't see when I'm in predominantly white neighborhoods. Statistically, and this is actually my line of research, black youth are seen as 4 to 5 years older. We're seen as scary, we're seen as intimidating. So that's why you see situations like Tamir Rice. You see police reacting quickly with lethal force
He had a gun, looked like it was real though, you know.
But there was no one there. Let's say he had a real gun. Why couldn't the police say stop? He was killed in less than 15 seconds, a 12-year-old boy
But he was pointing the gun
with a
at
BB
people.
gun.
But
No,
it
he
didn't
was not.
Like when I had a BB gun when I was that age, and it looked real too. And you know, my parents told me, do not go outside with that. And I'm in the all-black area. Do not go outside with that and point it at people because it looked real. And why do you think they did that?
Hopefully because they recognize that as a black boy, you're going to be targeted.
Living contradictions, literal living contradictions. You know, I know, you know. You know, I know, we all, bro, it's like in living, and it makes me so frustrated because it's like you say this and you walk around with this belief, but you can't defend it outside of your own head, outside of your own little tiny community. I was in an all black area. My mom told me don't go outside with that gun because she knows people are going to be like, well, time to pop on them. The police should be the last thing you should be worried about. I can understand she was like, well, you know, stay at home because, you know, there's mad heads out with guns and we're going to be popping left, right, up and down. Cool, understandable. But like police, make the distinction.
That's you could do a whole podcast on that one right there. I mean, I wanted to go in.
I wanted to go in.
Obama did good things for black Americans.
Obama didn't do much for black Americans or for Americans in general, but what he...
Okay, we're not going to go with that one. I'm not going to give him that. because the TBH beat, like, to be honest, the ACA worked for what it worked for.
He did do was one very important thing that I got to give him credit for, and that was to say that you can be black and be the president of the United States. This whole excuse of, well, I can't do anything because I'm black and slavery, I'm not trying to hear it no more. You had the first black president, the black wife, the black kids, all that good stuff for 2 terms. Not once, it wasn't a fluke, 2 terms.
Okay, but the second term was for the same reason George W. Bush got a second term. We were in the middle of something, and the credit for reviving the economy, I don't want to hear from no Republican. You can't beat that out. It's like, do you even know what like politics is about?
Obama has done more damage to the African American race than any of the other presidents.
Methinks you'll be needing a booster seat, little girl.
He came into the presidency lying. He lied to our faces to get elected. Then once in, he disavowed. He just forgot about the blacks, first of all of us. Obama didn't do anything but an abomination to us, to this whole nation.
Yo,
Hey, like, yo, I don't know about all that now.
I mean, I agree with what you said. You know, he did a lot of damage. And the main thing that
But how did he do the damage? Give me I just want a conservative to give me an example of what the fuck you are talking about.
remember from his term was when he had Black Lives Matter in the White House while Ferguson was happening, while it was happening. Hey, you guys are doing a great job out there.
Whoa.
You guys are doing fantastic.
Literally, he denounced all the riots. Literally, he took the MLK approach. I'm going to say, like, you are fucking up, but I get your anger, and I think it's a message that needs to be heard.
Hey, tone down the rhetoric a little bit maybe because you got some problems. Nope, you guys are doing a great job. Keep on going.
So Obama was a representation of something important, but also I think the whole thing is a big puppet show, and you know I wasn't really sure.
Amen, brother.
I'm never really sure what's going on behind the scenes, so we don't know what kind of deals are being made.
I do think that there was people that benefited from some policies that Obama put in place.
Homosexuals.
And I also believe
What did
that
she say?
there
Oh,
were
run that
folks
back.
that benefited from some policies that Obama put in place.
Homosexuals.
And I also believe
Homosexuals.
that
Oh, she's talking about gay marriage. You see what I mean? Black people can't be gay? Like, oh my, why did I choose to watch this? Why am I doing this to myself?
there were people that did not benefit. And so I think that there are obviously good things about the Obama presidency, and there's things that I disagree with the Obama presidency.
We got to educate you, young brother.
Who invited this woman,
Yes.
yo?
Did you go to college?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Southern University in Pepperdine.
Southern
study?
University of Pepperdine? Christian University. Notable alumni. No way! My man, Nate Archibald. My man, Aqua Boy, like the fish guy. No way. Brandy? Oh my God. Not Brandy. Oh my God. The Maori family? Kim Fields? Oh my God, not Maori. Not the Maori family. Who else? Now I'm interested in seeing who the hell else? Pierce Brown. Wow. Jennifer Lacey. Okay, we're going on. I feel high school she played at Pepperdine. She recruited. Okay, they're just notable alumni. Okay, then we're not going too far on that. But damn, homie.
Political science, law enforcement, social studies. Social studies is what I teach, and social science, masters.
It shows.
The black community should accept LGBTQ plus rights.
If all 5 of these people do not hop on those chairs to agree, I'm losing my brain.
I am not only a philosophical conservative.
And that's specifically what I'm talking about with conservatives. That's a different one. This guy, different. He can see the difference in the way the party's going, but won't espouse for his views. I don't like the progressive. I don't like the liberal side of things. I like things to be conservative. I grew up in a conservative household. It makes the most sense to me. But I'm not going to deny people their rights. I'm not going to. Now, honestly, we can make the argument that you're voting in people who are doing the opposite of what you think. But as long as you exist, that's part one.
Conservative, but I'm also a religious conservative. And I believe that God made everyone in his image. And I also believe that we as Christians aren't people to judge. And so who are we, or who is anyone, to deny someone their rights as a person based
Predict champ Andy over here.
off of what their sexual orientation is, or how they identify, or the lifestyle that they choose to live.
You know, I'm a part of the LGBT community. I'm transgender, so
I would have never got that.
Female, now I'm male, I'm male. Yeah, it was an interesting road, even getting my family to understand, you know, who I was at times. So I think it was like they didn't want me, for lack of better terms, to have another cross to bear, which was what they felt like it was another burden or condition that would make me less than. But really, intrinsically, like, we're all worthy.
Okay, human rights is one thing. Sexual rights is a whole nother thing. The majority of the black community are religious. When it goes against their beliefs, no, it shouldn't happen. And gluttony is part of the human race. People glutton too much. And the LGBT, XYZ, whatever.
In front of a trans person. In front of a trans person. Off this planet, I request.
They're gluttoned.
All right, now my viewpoint on the thing about LGBT rights, what are we talking about exactly? I want to be very specific with this particular thing, because when I hear that, I'm thinking about Dwayne Wade's son. He's 12 years old. Do you think a 12-year-old boy should be able to call himself transgender? Is that-
That's the Ben Shapiro thing. I'm going to say what I feel, regardless of like the respect I could give another person.
what we're going to do? Do we think that we should have 4 and 5-year-old children on puberty blockers, hormone blockers, because
That's not fucking happening. And if it were to be, again, conservatives making shit up and then just getting angry about it, like if that were to be the case, do you think it's just happening because the parents decided to choose it? Do you think there wasn't extensive therapy and like years of, it takes years to get to that point.
they think at that age they're transgender. You can't even get a tattoo under the age of 18.
Keep fucking going. Keep going. Why don't we let 12-year-olds drive? Why do you have to be 21 to drink alcohol? Why do you have to be 18 to smoke cigarettes? I think we raised the age up to 21 for everything, so that's a little bit of an outdated statement, but hey, yo.
Can't smoke cigarettes, you can't drink beer. If somebody wants to be gay, trans, whatever, as an adult, that's fine. My uncle, my favorite uncle, died of AIDS, was gay. That was my dog, 100%. If you gay, that's your business. I don't care. That's you. That's not me.
Why do you
that's
bring
you.
up AIDS? Why do you bring up AIDS? That the baby argument. There it is. There it is. There's the reason why that the baby statement was horrible.
When we're talking about LGBT rights, what do we mean?
I mean, I think it's the right.
The right to exist, the right not to be persecuted, the right not. You know what the fucking rights are.
Right to exist. Dwayne Wade's daughter knows exactly who she is, and
12.
And she doesn't.
Right.
See? Contradiction. And you're going to say, how is it a contradiction? How do you know you're straight? How do you figure out your sexuality, and when do you choose to figure it out? If you want to say kids shouldn't be worried about sex at that age, well, teen pregnancies are a thing. So like, clearly our methods are not working. Teen pregnancies are down, but they're not eliminated because we don't educate people on anything in this fucking country. Not all over the place, but like as a majority as a whole, we're like, let's leave that out. And that leaves people trying to figure shit out on their own. The fact that we could have resources to help a 15-year-old figure out, wow, I think I'm a transgender individual. I think I'm non-binary. And watch them feel more comfortable, strong, confident. You're denying that because they're too young to make the decision. So now they grow up to be 25, full of dysphoria, full of anxiety, full of depression. And now they don't even have the resources to understand why that might be because we denied them that when they were younger.
And there's definitely
That's not even part of the conversation. Look at me having this entire dialogue about this topic. And the fucking thing is, accept LGBTQ rights. Rights encoded in the law, not behaviors or social stigmas that I swear to God.
research that says that, you know, anybody under 25 years old, that your brain is not fully formed.
Thing is, I knew when I was small, right? As soon as I could talk, I was pretty much telling my parents, like, these were the things that I was feeling and what I knew about myself. You know, when you start to self-actualize, you start that at that age. You start at the early ages. So if you look at, like, psychosomatics of children, they start to voice and self-actualize in toddler stages. We're just saying, opening it up. If they're voicing themselves, okay, you're voicing yourself, and as a parent, I just give you a platform to flourish and bloom as you do. And then when you're an adult, if that's the decision the parent wants to make, you can do what you want, sure. That's the decision my parents said.
Did you kind of say what he said?
So you kind of like on the same page with me. Like
This is what my parents did. You do what you want when you're out of the house. But the thing is, if I had if my parents had the resources and the education that they do now, they would have probably allowed me to, they would have offered me a decision that would have helped me, you know, live my life.
But you can't say that because it didn't happen.
But his parents can say that, which is what he's saying. It didn't happen, so now he's at that point now. Knowing now that they're educated and properly understanding the situation, they would be at a better point in the past because he had to change them over to get them to understand what he was saying.
It didn't, but it can now. Because we have
There's
those
a
resources
possibility?
now. We have those resources now.
You think
there
they
would have
would?
been yeah. If they had the resources that they have now, definitely. All you got to do is listen. You're just listening.
I have felt excluded from the black community.
Please let them conservatives fucking jump over here, please. I wonder why.
Probably the first aspect of being excluded from the black community is by the way I talk. So I was adopted to a Caucasian family. I was raised around in a completely different culture than what most African American people are raised in or around. Where the black community is saying, look, you don't believe like us, you don't think like us, you don't vote like us, and so you're not one of us.
Okay, he's talking about, I don't know about you vote like us, whatever. He's talking about the Oreo argument. This goes way deeper than like his conservative views.
I felt excluded as well, you know, with the queerness, transness, you know, when people get to know me.
Predict Champ Andy over here.
Like, oh, yeah, I can't be doing all that gay shit, blah, blah. Like, you hear a lot of different stuff, you know. Being anything doesn't make you any less black.
just by being conservative, friends that I had coming up in the black community, people that I known from just being out and around in Virginia, some of them kind of turn their back on you, or you want to support Trump, you hate black folks, all this, that, and the third. Now I feel like some of that's kind of going away because a person like me being a black Trump supporter is less of a novelty at this particular point. Now it's kind of like a normal thing.
He said the quiet part out loud. I'm a black Trump supporter. Why can't you just be a black conservative? You lumping yourself in with the Trump crowd? We love the blacks. 2020 showed that was not true.
Thing. But we're not all the same. We know we're not a monolith. Everybody have their own, we are our own people.
We're a diverse group of people. I mean, and I play hockey. So a lot of people are like, man, black people don't do that, man.
We do
Come on,
everything.
man. Black people don't do that. I'm like, hey, man, black people do
No, we
everything,
can't do, man.
So-
We do it all.
I've never been outside of or excluded from my race. I'm cool with everybody in my race, and I'm cool with everybody in other races. I ran for political office. I've been member of Park Mesa Heights Neighborhood Council.
Did you win?
I did.
Good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I represented Hyatt Park.
I wanted to say something. Even though I have felt excluded before, black people in my life have been the most welcoming.
I was about to say, like, I'm sure that narrative has
people
changed so
that
far.
I've witnessed, you know, regardless of, you know, my background as well. So there's been two ends of the spectrum for sure.
The reason why I came here all the way from Pennsylvania to do this is to show the world that all of us, regardless of our skin color or the way we think politically, we are so diverse. We're so diverse. Just because I identify as a conservative doesn't mean I'm agree with you or agree with you. Just because you identify as a liberal doesn't mean you're going to disagree with me on everything. We found ourselves agreeing with a lot today.
Common ground is our
It's called middle ground.
right, middle ground. Yeah. Well,
That's it for today.
Nice meeting you all. God bless. God bless.
I think that's just such a lost point. Like, no one's saying you're not going to agree on anything, bro. It's the principles on which you stand for as the country moves forward. You align yourselves with those people, and those people will be the first people to target you. I can't do that. Sorry.